Hello, my dear citizens of the world. Or at least, that's what you're all going to call yourselves within a few minutes. Forget for one moment whether you're Belgian, or whether you're French, or whether you come from, I don't know which country you come from, because that's all the same to me. I welcome you all warmly to our future that is totally made possible by our past. I welcome you all to Earth, the only country in this part of the universe. But let's start small. Our audience is one big class today. People in the front, my fellow competitors. You are all the fashionistas of the class. The three things you care about are fashion, passion, and... That's right. The audience. You are all the nerds of the class. The only thing you care about are the grades you get. And right in front of me, and to my left, well, that's where we have our gaming geeks. So, in a way, our class consists of three groups of people, all based on common ideas and common ideologies. And the same can be said on a global scale. What is it that unites a nation? Well, most nations tend to unite based on common traits, like a common language, a common culture, common achievements, and also being proud of those achievements. For example, in Flanders, we all speak Dutch, love our good French fries and beer, and yes, we are maybe a little bit too proud of the one food statue we call Manneke Pis. And that separates us from the French, who, for example, speak French, love their cheese and wine, and they are way too proud of that Eiffel Towers of theirs. I mean, have you even ever looked at the thing? Yet, even though we are so diverse, we're still working together. How's that? That brings us back to our class. How can we unite an entire class? Well, I speak from personal experience, and my fellow students and teachers will underline this, that the way to unite an entire class is a horrible teacher. If a teacher is just horrible enough, all those little groups, the fashionistas, the nerds, and even our gaming geeks will unite just to survive the year. And once more, the same can be said on a global scale. After the Second World War, we, the quarreling nations of Europe, united because the USSR stood knocking at our front door. And we're still in the European Union right now. And there are even surprising collaborations. Israel, Jordan, Palestine, they're all working together at this very moment to refill the River Jordan with water. And that, even though they're in a near war state. So nations, faced with a common problem, can work together. But is it then also possible to unite the entire Earth, like we did with the class? Well, it may sound a bit strange, but I think that in order to unite the entire Earth, we need a big common problem. And there are tons of problems coming our way. We have global warming that is getting worse. A solar flare could hit the Earth. Yellowstone could erupt. Let's work out that last example. Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, under the US National Park Yellowstone, there lies a supervolcano that, if it would erupt, would cause a new ice age. And sadly for the fans, I don't mean a new ice age movie. So what would happen in case of this new ice age? Phase 1, mass hysteria. The world is going crazy. Phase 2, a relative calm as global leaders are trying to calm their population down. Phase 3, those same global leaders are going to sit together, try to find a solution to our problem. Phase 4, we are working together. Know-how travels from north to south. Phase 5, the ice age has ended, and we came out all stronger and united. But let's not forget the billions of deaths, the cities that will be leveled to the ground, the achievements of man that shall be made undone. So, therefore, I beg you, please prove to me that a class can reunite with a good teacher, not only with a bad one. Prove to me that we can work towards common prosperity and not only to solve common problems. Because if we won't unite right now, we shall unite in the future. But only the price shall be far, far higher. But I welcome you still warmly to Earth, the only country in this part of the universe. Thank you. Oh.
Yes, thank you for your speech. You were talking about the entire Earth uniting against global warming, which is basically what we want to do. Why do you think it's so difficult to have all the nations really act? What will it take for us to really put our money where our mouth is?
I hope that it won't take that much, but as I'm seeing the problem right now, it is not affecting all of us. We have a warmer winter, and I don't see much complaining about that. So at this very moment, for example, in Belgium, we are not yet too affected by global warming. So we won't push ourselves that much to work together with nations that are heavily affected. And I hope that I can convince you all to do that still, even though we're not affected yet.
Jonathan, I was wondering, on a global scale, what are our common traits and ideologies? I'm guessing what I'm asking, who's our good teacher?
Who's going?
Who is our good teacher?
Our good teacher, I think that's the person you're yourself, with your own common beliefs and common aspects of looking at life. I think that's also important in working in a group. There are no common ideals, really, if it comes to, for example, working in a class. But the most important part is respecting everybody's difference and everybody's common ideologies. So there is no real good teacher except yourself.
So, Jonathan, in your opinion, if we all think the same, everything will be good, but isn't it a bit of a naive dream to expect everyone to think the same? We are all individuals.
Yes, that's also what I hope to say. We are all individuals, and we all have to have our own opinions and our own aspects of looking at life, like I said it. And I think that's also important, that we don't all have to think the same, but that we all respect one another's opinions and what we think ourselves. As long as we respect one another, I think we can work together, because respect is that thing where we all build up in a group. So I think that if we all just respect one another's differences and that we all have a different mind to something, then we can work together. And I don't think that's naive.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Is our history a good teacher or a bad teacher?
History, I think, is a good teacher if you just look at the things you want to look at. Like, look at the positive things. We only tend to look in history lessons and history classes at the bad things that happened in the past. But if we look at it, at what we also can do when we're really working together, like the European Union, for example, then I think history can be a very, very good teacher.
Thank you. Is it more important for us to be friends or be able to work together?
I think that the most important part is being able to work together. I don't have to like you, you don't have to like me, but the most important part is that I can work with you together if it's needed to be. If you have one part of the cookie recipe and I have the other part of the cookie recipe, that we can make awesome cookies together, and we don't have to need to really be friends for that.
And why do you think it is that we don't want to share our half of the cookie recipe? Because right now we'd rather have no cookies at all.
Well, I think that's because we like our own cookies. Like, if you have the normal cookie and I can make the chocolate, then I like my chocolate, you like your normal cookie, and you never tasted chocolate chip cookies. And if you get a little bit of a taste of a chocolate chip cookie, I think you will think differently. But as long as you're in your comfort zone, I don't think you will have the awesome experience of a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, can I? Okay. In your opinion, so we, as the world is now, how will you be able to bring together all those different opinions in different cultures? How does this work?
How does this work? Well, I think that my great-grandparents never thought that Europe would ever work together. My great-great-grandparents thought that they were very different from Germans and French and British persons. So I think the European Union is a great example for us to look how different cultures can work together, as long as we are respecting one another, as I said, and that we can work together and we don't necessarily have to be friends for it. Then we can have a good experience together and be a union that satisfies you.